All righty, good evening, everybody. Hope you all had a great day, a great first half of your week. Um, Welcome to what is this? All levels and all levels slow. So we'll take it nice and easy today. Maybe get you moving a little bit, but nothing too intense. Just gonna get some nice deep stretches and get that body warmed up and moving just a little bit, especially if you've been sitting all day. So let's go ahead and get started on our backs. Okay, so you can bring the bottoms of the feet together. Those knees can just come out wide, opening up through those inner thighs as we come into that butterfly stretch, closing down the eyes. We're going to rest one hand on the stomach, one hand will just rest on that chest. Just breathing in and out through the nose. We'll feel that belly expand, rib cage expand, breathing that air all the way down to the lowest part of the lungs, all the way up into the collarbones. And just exhale that breath out nice and slow. Take a big breath in through the nose. And exhale it out through the nose. And then we can use those hands just to guide those knees together. Okay. We're going to hug that right knee into the chest and then extend that foot up towards the ceiling. So a little bit of a hamstring stretch here. We're going to extend that left leg down long. So pressing into that foot like we're trying to press it up towards the ceiling. Okay, we're going to press that leg into those hands, okay, and then start to draw that leg a little bit closer to the body. So in that stretch, just keep it nice and gentle to start. And then we're going to reach for that outside edge of the foot. So we're going to come into that half happy baby. If you need to bend into this left knee, kind of take some of that intensity out of it, you can. Just gently pulling that right shoulder down towards the ground as we pull that knee down towards the ground. And then maybe you can extend that leg out a little bit more. If you want a deeper stretch, just go ahead and extend that left leg out long. And now go ahead and release that foot left hand. It's going to grab onto that knee and just twist that knee across. We reach that right arm out. Keep that right shoulder down, looking towards that right hand. And taking that big breath in. Maybe on that exhale, we find a little deeper twist. And then bring that knee back to center. And we'll switch sides. So hugging that left knee into the chest, that right leg extends out long. Start to straighten that left leg, interlacing those fingers behind that left hamstring. Flex that foot, pressing that foot up towards the ceiling. We're going to press the leg into the hands, and then we're going to start to pull that leg back towards the body. So feeling that stretch along the back of the leg. Now as we bend into that knee, we're going to start to reach for that outside edge of the foot. So we want that knee right outside the shoulder. If you need to bend into that right knee, you can. Holding that left knee down towards the ground. Maybe you can extend that leg out a little more. Okay, now go ahead and release it. Right hand is going to draw that knee across the body into that spinal twist. And bring that knee back to center. And hug both those knees in. Give a little rock from side to side. Bring it still. We'll go ahead and lower those feet down. Pointing those toes straight forward so our feet, our shins, our thighs are all parallel to each other. Arms can just be down by your sides. Really grip those toes into the mat. Press into those heels and lift those hips up, rolling up one vertebrae at a time into that hip bridge. And slowly roll it back down. And then we'll hug those knees in. We'll rock forward and back. So come on up into that seat. And let's just go ahead and roll it over onto those hands and knees. So into that tabletop position. So hands are going to be right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. On that inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone as we look up. And exhale, round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Good, then bring it back to neutral spine. Okay, keep those hips right above those knees, sliding those hands forward, okay, and then soften that head down towards the mat. So we want to stay really active in those hands, gripping those fingertips into the mat, then pulling those forearms towards each other. And we'll lower that forearm down towards them. Now, shift that weight forward into a plank, just holding it here for 5, 4, warming up through that core, 3, 2, and 1. Soften that body down towards the mat. Point those toes, bring those hands right underneath the shoulders as we roll the shoulders down and back. Lift that chest up into that baby cobra. Soften it down. Press and lift up. And soften it down. And one more time, lift. And soften it down. We'll come into that child's pose. So bring those knees out a little wider. Sink those hips back to the heels and reaching those arms forward. And then again, rest that head down to the mat. If you want a little bit more stretch through those shoulders, you can always flip those palms to point up towards the ceiling. And if you have the palms up, go ahead and just bring those palms to face back down towards the mat. We're going to walk those hands over to that right side, reaching out long through that left arm. Keep grounding that left hip back to that left heel. And bring it to center. We'll go over to that other side. So reach out long through that right arm, resting that head down. And then walk the hands back to center and come up onto the hands and knees. Go ahead and step those feet back to a plank and then hips up to the sky. Bring it into that first downward facing dog. Take a minute, pedal those feet out. So just bend one knee as we press that opposite heel down towards the mat. And then we'll come onto the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, sliding those hands up the shins. Nice flat back. And exhale, we can slide those hands down a little further as we fold, just letting the head, the arms stay nice and heavy. And then we'll bend into those knees, flatten out that back as we rise up to standing. Reach those arms up. We're going to interlace those fingers. We're going to point those palms up towards the sky, and then we're going to bend it over to that right side. And inhale, bring it back up, and exhale it over to the left side. Then inhale, reach it up. We're going to draw those elbows down into that field goal position, so really squeeze those shoulder blades together. Inhale, reach those arms back up. Exhale, pull the elbows down. Inhale, reach it back up. And last time, draw those elbows down. We'll interlace those fingers behind the back, draw the knuckles down towards the ground, and then bring those hands away from the hips. Good, now we'll release those arms back up, and exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, find that flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise up to standing. Reaching those arms up to the sky. Interlace those fingers, point those palms up, and then bend it over to the right side. Inhale it up. Exhale it to the left. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, draw those elbows down. Reach it up tall. Good, exhale, pull it down. Interlace those fingers. Open up through that chest. And release those arms up. Exhale. Lower those hands down towards the ground or towards those shins and finding that flat back. And exhale, we'll plant those hands down, stepping those feet back to our plank. Shift the weight forward as we lower down. Inhale, lift the chest, so lifting up into that cobra. You can press up into that upward facing dog. And then exhale, send those hips back to that child's pose. Good, and come back up onto the hands and knees. You're going to send that right leg back, flexing. You can't see, but flex that foot, point those toes down, squaring off those hips. Curling that knee into the chest, stepping that foot through. So we're coming into that lunge, inhaling those arms up overhead. So that rib cage is pulling down, hey, as we press those hips forward. So we want to feel that big stretch, that front part of that left leg. Press hips forward a little bit more, keeping that core nice and tight. Now we're going to twist. Left arm's going to reach forward, right arm reaches back. So try to look back, find that right thumb. And then inhale, reach those arms back up. Pressing the hips forward, maybe a little bit more. And then we'll lower the hands down, straighten that front leg as we fold. Okay, now we bend into that knee, plant that left hand, twisting. Right arm reaches up. And then lower that hand down, stepping that foot back to kneeling, so tabletop. And we'll send that left leg back, flex that foot, point those toes down. We want those hips nice and level. Curling that knee to the nose, stepping that foot through. And we're going to rise up into that lunge. Or tight, pressing those hips forward. And then we'll find that twist. So the right hand is going to reach forward, left arm reaches back. Pause it here, try to look and find that left thumb. And then we'll inhale both arms back up, pause it here for a breath. And then we'll straighten that front leg. So you pull the toes back, half splits. And we bend into that front knee. And plant that right hand. Then we'll twist. Left arm's gonna reach up. Can lower that hand down. Go ahead and just step it back to a downward facing dog. So hips are high. Pedaling out those feet. Stretching through those calves. Now again, we're going to step that right foot through. Back knee lowers down. Inhaling those arms up. And again, we'll twist. Left hand forward. Right arm reaches back. Adding on to this, we're going to reach that left arm up. Right hand's going to reach for that hamstring. Press the hips forward a little bit more. Good. Then lower those hands down to the mat. Straighten that front leg. Pull those toes back. Good. We bend into that front knee. Plant that left hand as we twist. Right arm reaches up. Good. Then lower the hands down. Step that foot back to that down dog. And then we're going to step that left foot through to left thumb. Back knee lowers down. Inhaling those arms up. And we'll twist it. Right hand reaches forward. Left arm reaches back. And we'll flip that right palm. Reach it up as that left hand reaches for that back hamstring. Then we'll lower those hands down. Straighten that front leg. Pull the toes back. And then we'll rebend into that knee. Plant that right hand. Twisting. Left arm reaches up. And then lower that hand down. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Good. Now go ahead and come to a seat. So if you're sitting on a hardwood or a hard surface, and you have a mat, sit yourself to the back of the mat, so almost like your hips are coming off of the mat. So we want to extend those legs out wide, going into that wide leg fold. It's going to be a little bit more comfortable if those heels are on the mat. So sitting up as tall as we can, flattening out the back. We're going to walk those hands forward. Breathing. Try to avoid rounding through the spine to get lower. We want to keep that nice flat low back. The flatter that back, the more we're hinging from the hips, the more of that stretch we'll feel to those inner thighs. Good, we'll bring it back up. Go ahead and lower. We're going to slide this right foot to your left inner thigh. We're going to lower that left forearm down just to the top of the thigh is fine. We're going to open up through that chest. We're going to reach that arm straight out to the side and then up and over. So big side stretch. And start to rotate that chest down. So we want to try and bring that chest, the sternum, to point towards that knee, grabbing onto those ankles or towards the calves. Nice flat back on the inhale, and then exhale, fold it deeper. You can bring it back up, and then just twist over that bent knee, so over to your right side. And bring it back to center. Go ahead and switch sides. So extending that right leg out. We'll start with that side bend. So lower that right forearm down to that thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. Big reach. And then start to rotate it down. So that again, that right or left hand will reach across that ankle, flat back on the inhale, and then exhale, fold a little deeper. And then go ahead, bring it back up, and we'll twist. So bring that right hand across that bent knee, sit up nice and tall, and then exhale into that twist. And untwist it. Again, we'll go one more time back into that wide leg fold. Sitting up as tall as you can, and then hinging from those hips as we bring that chest towards the ground. I think being active through those feet, so flexing the feet, you think about pulling those feet away from each other. So you have to squeeze your, flex your glutes a little bit to do so. You'll feel a little bit more of that stretch through that inner thigh. And then go ahead and bring it back up. Go ahead and guide those knees together. It will come onto your backs. Go ahead and roll it down as fast or as slow as you'd like. Okay, we're going to cross that right ankle over our left thigh, hugging that knee in, grabbing onto this left hamstring. And if you can keep that tailbone down, you want a little deeper stretch, you can grab on to that knee as well. Walking the shoulder blades together, lifting through that chest. A slight lift through that low back. then go ahead and release that foot down. You can bring those arms out to a T, keeping that right ankle crossed over, and then just draw those knees over to that right side. We're just keeping this left arm, left shoulder down, and core engaged, especially if you're feeling any pain in that low back. Tighten up those abs, tighten up that core. And then bring those knees back up, and we'll switch sides. So crossing that left ankle over, tailbone down, and then hug that right knee in, grab onto that hamstring or that shin, flexing through that left foot. And then go ahead and lower that right foot down to the mat first. Left ankle will stay crossed over, and we'll just drop those knees over to that left side. Right arm reaches out for balance, right shoulder stays down, and core stays tight. And bring that knee back to center. Go ahead and uncross it. Press those feet into the mat, and we'll lift up. We'll do 3 hip bridges. So start with the low back completely flat on the mat. Press into those heels, lift the hips up first. So just the hips to the tailbone. Roll it up 1 vertebrae at a time. Slowly roll it back down. Good. Press and lift the hips up. And then roll it back down. Good. Last time, press and lift those hips. And roll it back down. And we'll go into that full happy baby. So bring those knees out a little bit wider, reaching for those big toes or maybe the outside edges of the feet. So you can start here with those knees really bent, feet kind of coming towards each other, just to get that tailbone down. And then maybe you start to extend so the bottoms of the feet are pointing up towards the ceiling. Again, pulling those shoulders down towards the mat. Pulling the shoulder blades together to pull the knees down. More stretch through those hips, the hamstrings. Maybe you can extend those legs out a little bit more. Go ahead and guide those feet together. Knees will stay wide as we lower those feet down towards the mat. You can just rest the hands on the stomach and that stretch through those inner thighs. Engage through that core. Try and keep that low back flat on the mat. And bring those knees back together, hugging that right knee into the chest. That left leg will just extend out. Again, we'll twist that knee across the body. So hopefully this twist is maybe a little bit more open than it was when we started class. So taking that big breath in and exhale, soften. Maybe getting that knee a little bit closer to the ground, but not forcing it. And then bring that knee back to center. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Hug that left knee in, right leg will reach out long. And then exhale, twist. And then bring that knee back to center. Hug both knees into the chest. Hey, as we round that spine, bringing the forehead to the knees. Then we'll extend those legs out long, reaching those arms overhead, that full body stretch from the fingertips down through those toes. Big, big reach. And then exhaling those arms down by the sides. Palms will face up, shoulder blades will walk together. So you can bring those arms and legs as wide as you would like, finding that most comfortable position that you can be in. Just coming to that natural breath, natural rhythm. Begin to deepen your breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach those arms overhead for that full body stretch, again, from the fingertips all the way down through those toes. And draw those knees into the chest to gently roll over onto your side. You can just rest your head on your arm, your bicep. And the other arm just falls in front. So just rest here for a breath or two, just starting to wake the body back up. And then making your way back up to that comfortable seated position. So sitting up nice and tall, legs are crossed, eyes remain closed. Just pausing here for a couple breaths. And we'll inhale those arms up overhead. Palms will meet, and then exhale those hands to heart center. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great evening. And then hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. We have 7 a.m. Power yoga with the core, the abs focus. All right. Thanks, guys.